Oh snap, it's not every day we get drama like this. Hey everyone, welcome to Post to Post, welcome to the video. My name's Neil, thanks for joining me today. It is a doozy. Truthfully, I had something else prepared for today to release on the channel, but news broke earlier today that Tim Peel of the NHL has been let go, I guess, by the NHL, or maybe better words are he will no longer be refereeing any or officiating any NHL game now or in the future. So that's the headline, and we're going to dive into the story behind it. And so I had to talk about it. I could not talk about this. This is huge news for the NHL. This goes beyond the NHL to other sports even. It's a huge deal, and it puts the NHL in a bad spotlight, but let's dissect it. So I don't think we can go any further without context. So instead of me just telling you what Tim Peel said that got him fired or canceled, let's actually listen to it. Here we go.
It wasn't much, but I wanted to get a penalty against Nashville early in the...
That's right, he got caught with a hot mic. So he basically said, it wasn't much, but I wanted to give Nashville a penalty early in the game period. It doesn't matter. The context behind that clip is... There's a ton of different things you could think about for this. Is he making a makeup call? Is he just trying to control the flow of the game in general? Or is he just really trying to command everything, or just having fun and just like, I'm going to give them a penalty? So there's all kinds of different things that people have theorized. The obvious answer is that he was trying to give a makeup call. Now, I did not watch this game. I have read multiple comments online saying that there was nothing for him to make up. So this really came out of nowhere. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's what I've read online. You can make your own judgments. But for you new hockey fans, or maybe you're not aware, makeup calls in hockey are a thing. Sometimes a referee or an official makes a bad call, and sometimes he makes no call. And he tries to band-aid that, I guess, by giving that team a favorable call in the future. So, for example, if Tim Peel calls something bad against Detroit early in the game, and maybe he called a trip and it wasn't actually a trip, and he saw the replay afterwards, and he's like, dang, okay, that was a bad call. I'm going to try and make that up in the future. So the next time that any Nashville players go to throw a trip or whatever, even if it was just slight, he's going to call it to give that makeup call to Detroit. So to try and even things out. You can argue all you want that this does not exist. It does. It has been an unwritten scenario and situation in the NHL for decades upon decades upon decades. It is just this known thing that happens in NHL games and hockey games. And I changed it to hockey because it's not just the NHL. This spans multiple leagues. AHL, ECHL is just kind of a known thing in hockey. There are makeup calls. No one has ever been on record saying that they've made a makeup call, especially not during an NHL game, which is also broadcasted to millions of people and now hundreds of millions of people online. So Tim Peel is in a very awkward situation where he has essentially admitted that he was making a call that he shouldn't based on based on what he wanted to do personally or subjectively himself to affect the game, whether he was trying to influence drama or flow in the game by making it interesting with a power play, or by trying to correct a mistake that he or the other official made by trying to make things even. So I'm having trouble organizing my thoughts with this, because when I see a problem, as I get older, I try and not to make quick judgments, to try and take a step back and make a logical decision, to look at all the facts or what information is being presented, and then make a conclusion on what I think should have happened or should not have happened, or just the general scenario. And the more I think about this, the more I think about there's not really any logical answer or opinion to this. There's not really any right or wrong answer. Because I don't think we know all the facts yet, number one. And number two, this unwritten rule thing it throws a wrench into the system of thinking. Because although it's not, that's not supposed to happen, everyone knows it does. Or a lot of people, and most people know that it happens and they're okay with it. That's just part of the game of hockey. So Tim Peel was caught admitting, or not admitting, but, I guess he was admitting that he made a bad call or a makeup call or whatever you want to call it. I don't care. So he's the first one to do it. And the NHL looks at that, and the NHL is in a terrible position here. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they do, which they did, and fire him, they are taking a stance. Yeah, you know what? This is not allowed. He'll never ref again. This is not acceptable. If they don't, they're saying this is totally acceptable. The referees can do this whenever they want. If they want to create a makeup call or create up a call from nothing, they can do that. We approve of that. So if they don't do anything, it makes them look worse than they do. But what comes with them making the decision of doing is it makes them look bad in the sense that they're kind of admitting publicly that they didn't know about it until now. And that is the most egregious lie of all of this. If the NHL is saying, essentially, that they didn't know that this happened until a referee was caught on a mic actually saying it, that is the most insulting piece of information that they can give to hockey fans. And it's just such a slap in the face to us. Because they absolutely know that this happens. They would be, I don't even understand how they're even looking at us and thinking that we're not smart enough to know that this doesn't exist. Like, it's really frustrating. So they look bad that way. But they have to do it, because if they don't, it's going to be worse. Tim Peel is the scapegoat of this situation. He is not the only ref that does this. In fact, probably 100% of NHL referees reffing now and reffing in the past have done this. Makeup calls. It's just something that exists. Unfortunately, Tim Peel was caught in the crossfire. So my personal opinion is, I understand why he got fired. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I don't necessarily agree with it either. He was fired not for what he did, but because he got caught. And that is the wrong decision behind that. That's why the NHL looks bad, in my opinion. It is unfortunate that he did get caught, and fortunate that he got caught. I'm very conflicted about this. And I think that brings me back to thinking about this logically, like I said, not making a quick decision, really trying to think about this, looking at both sides, looking at Tim Peel's side, looking at the referees, the official side, and then looking at the NHL side, and trying to figure out who should have more people in their corner. And I'm kind of in the middle, because I agree with him being fired, but in the same sense, it makes me angry at the NHL for allowing it to happen behind closed doors and only doing something about it once the door was opened. And I don't know, it's just a frustrating situation. And I feel bad in a way for Tim Peel, because he was set to retire next month. April 24th, I believe, was his last game. He's in his 50s, if I'm not mistaken. He's ready to retire. He's reffed a lot of games, over 1,500 or something crazy. And it was his time to be done in April. And he is not going to have the retirement that all the other officials and referees have had previous to him, who have also done the exact same thing as him. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know if firing him for making a call that the NHL knows all the other officials and referees do, but only firing him because he got caught a month before he's retiring, I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of go back and forth in my brain about it, and it just reminds me of cancel culture and everything that comes with it. Someone does something bad, regardless of how severe or how insignificant it is, someone does something bad, and then there's this mob mentality of people jumping on and just hating that person and trying to cancel them, and forgetting all of the good things that person has ever done. And obviously it's situational, and Every situation is different. But with Tim Peel, I'm sure he's made some amazing calls. I'm sure he has been a really good referee or an official for a lot of games, a lot of playoff games. But I'm at the other side of the coin, I'm sure he's been a terrible referee at times, obviously, because he just got fired for a very good reason. So I'm conflicted. I'm just kind of talking out loud. There's no, when I hit record on the camera, it's not like, okay, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to talk about this. I'm really just kind of thinking out loud, and I appreciate you guys being here for this process. And but I do apologize that it's not more planned and coherent. It's a little all over the place, but these are the types of videos that I like to make in situations like this, because it does help me as well kind of think out loud, further my decision process a little bit. And it also leads me to hear back from you guys down in the comment section. So this is a really good video where people can comment with their opinion. Number one, were you aware that makeup calls existed in the NHL? Kind of an unwritten rule. Number two, do you agree with Tim Peel being fired here? And number three, if he wasn't fired, hypothetically, what do you think the NHL should have done to reprimand him or to punish him or to move forward past this situation? Because the NHL has really set a tone for sports, because other sports have referees with mics on them, and I'm not aware of any other situation in any other sports where a referee was caught saying something that he maybe shouldn't have. So the NHL has really set a precedent here for this, and it's going to be really interesting to see what other sports and leagues do moving forward. Maybe they'll look at this and think, this situation really made our league look bad, our sport look bad. Let's remove the mics now from the referees. They shouldn't have mics. Let's take them from the players. Let's take them from the officials. So I don't know if we're going to hear about that from other leagues and other sports. Probably not. But it's still a really interesting situation that makes Tim Peel look bad. It makes the NHL look bad. It makes a lot of people look bad. So I'm, again, conflicted here. Would love to hear from you guys. Would love to hear your opinions down below. Maybe help me decide a little bit which way to sway. I think I'm okay with him being fired. As a conclusion, I think I'm okay with him being fired. I think I would have been okay with him not being fired. And I'm mostly, I think, disappointed in the NHL for taking such a hard stance on something that they just pretended like they didn't know existed. I'm more mad at the NHL than I am Tim Peel, which is kind of a ridiculous thing to say out loud and a ridiculous thing to think, but that's kind of where my brain is right now. I'm kind of more mad at the NHL, which is probably the wrong answer, but that's where I'm at. So love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I apologize that I've rambled and extended this video longer than it really should have been, but I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time. Hope you're having an amazing day. Would love it if you could jump on board here, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button, join me for all kinds of hockey talk like this. We're looking at logos, concepts, jerseys, all that good stuff, and yeah, we're having fun here, so we'd love to have you on board. And yeah, crazy day. All right, guys, catch you later. Adios.